Hello, my name is Ava and I'll be talking about Strategy 29, Building Oral Language with Read-Alouds and Picture Books. I'll be using the book Should I Share My Ice Cream by Mo Williams. This strategy helps English language learners build oral language by hearing fluent reading, learning new vocabulary, and practicing sentence patterns in a fun, supportive way. This strategy builds oral language fluency because students first listen to the teacher model expressive reading, and then they get a chance to practice that language with a low pressure. My example lesson is for a second grade class and focuses on using the story to help ELLs practice speaking about feelings, choices, and sharing. Throughout the read aloud, students will listen, repeat, and then use simple sentence frames to talk about what the characters do and how they feel. The content objectives is for students to explain how the elephant character feels when he decides whether to share his ice cream or not. The language objective is for students to use vocabulary like happy, sad, surprised, and share in complete sentences. For example, they can use sentence starters like elephant feels blank because blank. For this lesson, I will use the book, emotion cards, and vocabulary visuals that help ELLs connect with words with pictures and maybe even colors with feelings, and sentence frame charts to support their oral responses. I'll begin this by showing a picture of an ice cream and asking who likes ice cream. And then I'll ask, have they ever shared ice cream with a friend? Students can respond with thumbs up, short answers, yes, no, head nods, whatever they feel. I'll introduce the main words, share, friend, ice cream, feelings. I'll use emotion cards and have students repeat after me, happy, sad, or worried. I'll also ask students what colors they associate with what words. Like if you're happy, then maybe it associates with the color yellow. As I read the story aloud, I will use expression to match the elephant character's emotions. For example, when the elephant says, should I share my ice cream? I'll pause and ask, what do you think? Should he share? And let them give a response, either whole class or raise their hand and decide if they want to join in and say how they think that the elephant will choose. I'll be modeling my thinking and saying like, I think the elephant feels worried, like his face looks very worried and his body looks very scared or unsure because he really wants his ice cream and doesn't know if he wants to share. Then I can also ask a student to repeat or point to a card of the emotion card or the feeling card throughout the story to see how they relate the character's feelings. Instead of using verbal cues, they can use just physical cues pointing at a card. Throughout the story, I'll also stop and let students predict or answer simple questions like elephant feels what? What do you think the elephant feels? Or he wants to do what? What do we think he's going to do next? After reading, we'll look into two pictures, one with the elephant deciding and one when he drops the ice cream. And I'll ask, how do you think the elephant feels now? And hold up an emotion card that supports your answer. Letting students decide, but not having, again, to speak aloud, but also choosing and feeling heard by me nodding at them, holding up their card. I will also model full sentences saying, he feels sad because his ice cream fell, and allowing them to hear me say those sentences and maybe think of them in their own head and play that out in their own head. We could also act it out, pretending to drop ice cream and saying, oh no, I'm so sad, like my ice cream fell, I was very excited to eat it. And also add movement throughout reading the story and like facials and all that. And having students say, oh, he looks sad, show me a sad face, and having them all show us a sad face. To finish, I'll have students draw their own picture of sharing something with a friend or maybe sharing something or doing a kind thing for a friend. They'll label the picture by saying I shared with my friend or I did a kind thing for my friend. Sentence starts can be provided if needed. We'll do another review in close to fill in the blank sort of. Elephant feels blank because blank. Why did the elephant feel like that? Who did he share with? Or who didn't he share with? Who shared with him? Checking both comprehension and speaking. I'll assess the student informally using a simple rubric adapted from the text. I'll know how well they participated and how they used the vocabulary and how they spoke throughout the activity, whether they used just their own vocab or used the vocab words we went over previously to the lesson. This strategy really shows how powerful reading aloud and picture books can be for all students, but also ELLs. The visual expressions and the repetitive of this writer, Mo Williams, he really does a good job showing the speech bubbles and the illustrations that help students see the different emotions and see the decision making and see the back and forth that the elephant character is feeling in deciding to share the ice cream or not. Students will also hear keywords throughout the story, and even just through my speaking, explaining the book or going through the feelings of the book. Read alouds can be really safe for students because they get to not worry about reading the words but understand the story and hear it. I think it's very effective for all of them, for all learners, but also for ELLs, because they're not processing that hardship of following that new language, but they're also allowed to see their thoughts and connect to a picture by just pointing to an emotion or color that they associate with. So it's very relatable for them. So yeah, that's my lesson, and that's the book I used. Thank you.